When immigrants are detained unlawfully in our airports, legal aid is there.
When children fleeing violence arrive at our border, unaccompanied and seeking asylum, legal aid is there.
When transgender youth are denied medical coverage for life-saving health care, legal aid is there.
The Legal Aid Society is there as this nation's oldest and largest public defender.
When the homes of low-income New Yorkers are in jeopardy.
When day laborers are cheated out of the wages they are owed.
When children with special needs need an appropriate education.
When people are confronted by the police for possible arrests.
When your kids need to know their rights.
Legal aid is there.
Legal aid is there.
Legal aid is there.
Legal aid is there.
In the past year, the Legal Aid Society has handled hundreds of thousands of matters for vulnerable New Yorkers confronted with life-changing legal issues. Every day, we provide legal representation to clients like the ones you're about to meet.
Protesters gathered outside JFK International Airport in New York and demanded the release of refugees blocked from entering the United States.
When the executive order was signed on January 27th, it was a Friday. Our staff, they mobilized right away and went out to the airport. Our folks made sure that all of those people who were detained because of the Muslim ban, that they actually were able to get released.
We started meeting with the family members in the arrivals lounges to find out what's going on, and once it seemed that more than a reasonable time had passed by and someone was still being questioned, we started preparing habeas petitions to file with the federal court in Brooklyn to get people out of detention.
But we weren't really sure what was going on. And because the Legal Aid Society has offices in every single borough in New York City, which makes it unique in its ability to provide services to our clients, we made the decision that the Legal Aid Society would set up shop at its Brooklyn office in case we had to hand file any emergent applications to the court.
We also set up a hotline so that individuals who were afraid that their loved one may have a problem at the airport could give us their information in advance so that we could have an attorney paired with the family to keep an eye out on the arriving flights and make sure that someone was available to do the habeas petitions if need be.
There was about maybe no longer than a minute in between calls. And people were very anxious.
There were calls from, I don't want to leave my house, to I don't want to let my children go to school, to I have to decide between going to work or getting picked up by ICE.
Bueno, la verdad, yo de verdad que estoy bien agradecida.
In reality, I'm really grateful for the services that I received, most importantly for the way that we were treated and the way that I was treated. And to know that when I was able to reach out, I reached out to Anthony, and that these services were timely and we were treated with dignity.
Wilmer came in, when did you come in?
2014.
2014. And he crossed the border as an unaccompanied child, which means that he traveled to the United States without his parents or legal guardian. And so he was placed into immigration proceedings before an immigration judge. And then we had to figure out a way in which he could stay here because he was afraid to go back to Honduras.
I left Honduras because it was dangerous there. Gang members try to involve teenagers in the gangs to do like wrong things, bad things. The gang member trying to involve me in that life. Yeah, try to get me in there. And I was scared. When I finally get to the border, I was across the river. And when we was like in the middle of the river, border patrol, the immigration came and they helped us to cross.
Border Patrol had to save people because they were drowning in the river. They did a check to see who he could go to live with while his immigration case was pending. And so he went to live with family here in the Bronx. So we met through legal aid. We had to get to know each other first, so that took some time. But as I got to know him, it became clear to me that he was scared to go back. So in Wilmer's case, he won his case, I'm so proud of him. He's such a wonderful person, and I'm so happy that he gets to stay in the United States.
I feel really comfortable, and it's great to have a lawyer like Elizabeth. She's a really great lawyer, and I appreciate that she worked with me and she helped me in my case. Now I'm in high school, about to graduate next year. I want to go to college and study, maybe an engineer or be a lawyer like Elizabeth here.
No,
yeah.
Be an engineer.
Yeah.
My name is Mia Ballard. I'm from the small town Norwich, New York. My mom's boyfriend at the time had a computer, and I would go on the computer and look up because I had heard of people being transgender. So I had looked up what is transgender, and it gave me result after result after result, and I had learned so much about it.
I always knew Mia was different, right from the time she was real little. Always knew, just wasn't sure exactly how. So when Mia left me the note in my vehicle a couple years ago, it really wasn't a surprise to me.
So what I did was I printed out a copy of what I wanted to say to her, and I taped it to her van steering wheel. And when she went out to work the next morning, she had a surprise on her steering wheel.
And in the note, I was a little surprised in her choice of words because she kept saying to me, "I hope you love me after this."
It just said how I felt and how I felt this way for a long time, and just how I wanted to change.
So I got to work, and before I even started work, I sent her a message and I said, "I'll love you no matter who you are. I want you to be you and be happy with who you are, and anything you need, we'll get through."
We brought the Cruz case in 2014, and we filed the case on behalf of anyone who had a gender dysphoria diagnosis in the state of New York and was on Medicaid, because they were barred to get any insurance coverage for any health care related to that diagnosis. And as the case proceeded, we found that the state was willing to compromise and give care to adults, but they were unwilling to give care to young people. And so at the point that they made the decision to bar the care or continue to bar the care for young people, we came into contact with Elena and Mia, and they were willing to share their story as part of the case in order to fight the injustice of young people not being able to get insurance coverage.
And so the real issue in the case was, is the treatment of gender dysphoria, the medical needs particular to transgender individuals, are those treatments medically necessary? And if so, does the state have to provide funding for it?
Through Mia joining the case and Elena stepping up and allowing us to tell their story through this case, we were able to prove to the courts and to the state that this was basically medically necessary health care. Their willingness and bravery to step into this case and be part of fighting this injustice has basically changed the face of the way healthcare is provided to transgender youth in all of New York State, and it's pretty incredible.
It was just a phenomenal experience, I think. They are some of the most dedicated and talented lawyers that I personally have ever worked with, and it was just an honor to have the opportunity to work together with them on a case that meant so much to so many people.
Some people don't understand what people go through and what they're feeling, but it's good just to stick by their side and help them through it, even though you don't understand it, because someday you will. Follow your dreams no matter who tells you you can't. Always look on the bright side, not the dark side, and just keep pushing. Before, everything was really dark, but now there's like sunshine.
For 140 years, the Legal Aid Society has been there for vulnerable, low-income New Yorkers. We need to make sure that we can continue to be there for our clients when they need us most. Please stand with us in these troubled times. We need your support now more than ever.